Talk about a mismatch of prospective employees' ideas about their value and the mismatch between them and the employer. What about a mismatch of skills? Are you seeing that as well? And it's fascinating how your company has moved from what it was and what an old guy like me remembers it being to what it is today. But is there a mismatch of skills here that is another explanation?
Yeah, unquestionably. With the digitization of the workforce or the workplace, the introduction of new technologies, our customers are letting us know that they don't have the employees with the right skill sets. And then you have employees, on the other hand, who feel that they do have and can make this contribution to the new workforce or the new workplace. And I think there is a disequilibrium that exists in the marketplace right now. We're coming out of this horrific recession, and it's probably going to take a while for that equilibrium to find itself. But there's a longer structural issue, as you mentioned, Tyler, with the mismatch in skills and needs of customers and employees.
Kelly, do you want to jump in here? Kelly, meet Kelly, or I'll ask a question. What do you say, Kel?
I want his ticker. Kel, yeah. Peter, I just want to go back and reference what we heard from Rahel Solomon. I think the main issue as people try to figure out the inflation puzzle is what happens when the extended unemployment benefits expire in September. You know, will that all of a sudden be a catalyst for people to come back in the workforce and maybe even keep wages down? You know, the reporting from the CNBC survey suggests maybe those extra payments aren't as big a factor, that it's really childcare, it's fear of COVID, and it's just not getting offered what they were making previously before the pandemic.
And when the enhanced benefits expired last summer, we expected to see a really significant influx of talent, and we didn't. And anecdotally, we saw a stronger correlation for schools reopening and the influx of talent. So I do think it's going to be that trifecta of opening schools, getting more people vaccinated so people feel safe going back to work, and creating opportunities for workers to make a decent wage that will ultimately create that equilibrium that I referenced before between the supply and demand.
It's really interesting that you emphasize the point about schools, because that does seem to be the missing puzzle piece. And people who are concerned about childcare, it often goes back to whether the schools will be open. And I guess we're starting to make some progress on that front. But my last question to you is, what happens for people who have a fear of getting COVID? You would assume it's now something specific to them. You know, maybe they're immunocompromised, they couldn't get the vaccine or don't want the vaccine or something like that. Is there some way to provide recompense for people in that situation? Is it just kind of a matter of wait and see until there's another kind of job that could be a fit if something maybe working in the front lines no longer is? How do we solve that? Because a third of respondents said that was their main reason for not going back into the workforce.
Well, I would encourage people who find themselves in that situation to look for remote work, working in an environment where they feel safe. And there is plenty of opportunity with employers who are looking for workers. Where work gets done, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, that picture has changed dramatically. And where the work is done is much less important than the outcome of the work. And so more and more of our customers and employers generally are looking for individuals who can work remotely at home. And in fact, when you look at the job searches, the words remote and at home come up very frequently. So I think that's something that's going to continue after the pandemic. And I would encourage those individuals to look for work where they can stay at home.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.